high tide, one with the blue. Smiling like a fool at the thought of your face. Every touch, every feeling takes my breath away. Remind me of a feeling that I never faced. All I wanna do is get lost in space.
This is a Rock of Fire Radio, 24/7.
Let's get lost in the moment. You and I jump in the zone, let's go. I take you to the center, get it feel. Make you feel like you never wanted me. Smiling like a fool at the thought of your face. Every touch, every feeling takes my breath away. You remind me of a feeling that I never traced. Now all I wanna do is get lost in this place. Smiling like a fool at the thought of your face. Every touch, every feeling takes my breath away. You remind me of a feeling that I never traced. Now all I wanna do is get lost in this place with you. Jungle fever, dancing to the ocean's tune, lost inside this jungle mood. Like ooh, jungle fever. Stand beneath our feet, we sway. Take me to a different place with this fever. Come away with me, come let's up to fever. Come away with me, let's fever. You the one for me, take me from the fever. Come here, baby, you should love me long time, love me to the groove. Find me in the summer, catching low tides, all I wanna do. Sitting on the beach, sipping my tides, all I wanna do. Leave our clothes running to the high tide, one with the blue. Smiling like a fool at the thought of your face. Every touch, every feeling takes my breath away. You remind me of a feeling that I never traced. Now all I wanna do is get lost in space with you. Viene a tu chat, she get uno duele fácil, she get uno duele fácil. Ooh, jungle fever, dancing to the ocean's tune, lost inside this jungle mood. Like ooh, jungle fever, stand beneath our feet we sway, take me to a different place. Fever, jungle fever. Will you take me far away? You be my fire, you be my lighter, you be the star up in the sky with the shining my light. I love you forever, I nobody deny you. Come in my friends and my family, I can't do without you. My baby, oh, you be my strength and my power. You already know, I feel do anything for your matter. My baby, oh, I feel jump mountain for you. I feel my step for you. Do anything you want me to do, yeah. Oh yeah, come here. Come here, come here, come here. Oh yeah, come here. Come here, come here, come here. Oh yeah, come here, baby. Come here, come here, come here. Oh yeah, come here. Come here, come here, come here. Ooh, my baby Kilimanjaro. My baby Spiral. My baby Kilimanjaro. My baby Spiral. Darling, now only you gotta see from my dream. I don't care. Loving is wrong, I don't want to be right here. You be my sugar, and I got you forever. yeah, come here. Come here, come here, come here. Oh yeah, come here, baby. Come here, come here, come here. Oh yeah, come here. Come here, come here, come here. Ooh, my baby Kilimanjaro. My baby Sparrow. My baby Kilimanjaro. My baby Sparrow. My baby fine, you get romantic, child. You get romantic, my baby sweet, you know you're stingy. I swear you know you're stingy, it's from my back. Hey, you do to me well, hey, it's all about. I recollect Chapo. All of my friends and my family, and they all want to meet you. I care about you, and I love you, baby. You be my strength and my power. You already know. I see do anything for your matter. My baby, oh, I think I'm a man for you. I feel my estate for you. Do anything you want me to do, yeah. Oh yeah, come here. Come here, come here, come here. Oh yeah, come here. Come here, come here, come here. Oh yeah, come here, baby. Come here, come here, come here. Oh yeah, come here. Come here, come here, come here. Ooh.
This is Black Media, the 21st century.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Karibuni sana to the Pan African English Show. My name is Joby, and you tuned in into the Black Fire Radio Media for the 21st century. Welcome to the show, and of course, it's an amazing, wonderful morning. It's been on a Thursday. We know on a Thursday it's all about throwing back. Way to back, be it in music, be it you remembering some stuff that you had done before. It's on a Thursday, and today we're gonna be remembering a lot of things. And it being the 8th of July, we still making those we still being able to set some goals. So if you've not set the goals for yourself, please do make it as early as now, so that before the end of the month you'll be able to achieve something for yourself, and also maybe for your family and your friends as well. Karibuni sana to the Pan African Bliss Show. My name is Joby once again. Please do remember to interact with us. That is on Facebook at the Black Fire Radio, on Twitter at the Black Fire Network, using the hashtag Pan African Bliss Joby and hashtag Black Hot Fire Network. And also, you can get all of us, that is also on Instagram at the Black Hot Fire Network. Karibuni sana once again, and you can call us in, SMS us, WhatsApp us at the +254 754 and tell us how is your Thursday coming along, because I do believe the weekend is just a few hours around the corner, and it's been on a Thursday. Here in Nairobi, I do remember when clubs are so active. Some people did start their weekends on Thursdays, because it's most of the clubs did get to play reggae, like way back to back, and it was just an amazing vibe. But since the pandemic, a lot of things have been affected, so not most of the people can get to enjoy all of that. So you just get to enjoy music in your own home, or even here on the Black Fire Radio. And you can also download the app on the Google Play Store and get to enjoy these amazing vibes. You can also get all of us on our website at the www.blackoutfirenetwork.com. You can also donate, that is through Cash App at the Mr. Blackout Fire Network, or also on the www.blackoutfirenetwork.com, and we get to appreciate you. Karibuni sana. I hope you are, or you did have an amazing night. Personally, mine was super fantastic. I just woke up, I just in the house. So, as we have some chihuahuas in the house, we have chihuahuas actually. So I was just deep asleep, and when the alarm was just rung and you just like ignoring it, the dogs start barking, and they're just like, I just have to wake up no matter what. But karibuni sana, it just we're vibrating positive vibes here on the Pan African Bliss Show. Do remember, here we get to discuss matters that are affecting us, not only as a continent of Africa, or rather the African continent, also as only we get to check matters that are also affecting the other, worldwide. We get to see what is really happening in the world, because at the end of the day, we know that Africans, as I keep on saying, we do have so many enemies, so you never know who's attacking you from behind. You don't know who's coming after you, so you ought to be on red. You have to be careful. You have to keep on checking what is really happening. But karibuni sana, and you know how we do it here. If you just maybe in case you join us for the first time, on the Pan African Bliss Show, we discuss matters that are affecting us on a daily basis. Not only just checking the demerits, we also get to solve these matters, because at the end of the day, as much as we keep on crying to the government, crying for help, in Nairobi we see people when they're asking for help from the government, they do say serikali nisaidie, like the government help me. But still, when you keep on saying that serikali nisaidie, till when? They're not gonna come up unto you. They're not gonna even listen to you. Even if you go viral, they just check the videos, laugh, and that's it. Like, you just keep on yapping your mouth. But at the end of the day, we vibrate positive vibes here on the Pan African Bliss Show. And the quote of the day, because I do believe when we wake up, we are facing our own challenges, and you just need maybe someone to motivate you, someone to keep you going. And it's been on a Thursday. Today, I'm not gonna be talking a lot about so many things. The quote of the day goes about, the memory. Memory is the diary that we all carry about with us. Again, I'll repeat. The quote of the day goes by, memory is the diary that we all carry about with us. Because I do remember, in this journey of life, we've experienced a lot of things, be it the good ones, the bad ones. They're all a lesson to us, and it's also a memory, so that whenever you encounter such an incident again in the future, you'll be able to remember, like, this happened to me, and I wouldn't want to repeat the same mistake again. Or maybe if you encounter the same mistake, maybe someone is going through the same issue, you'll be able to help them and get out of the situation. So it's been on a Thursday, it's on a throwback. So we carry our memories, our minds, our memories, and our hearts as well, because we do bear a lot of things in our hearts and also our minds. But most of our lives, I do believe we leave it in our mind, because it's the mind that reflects you to think about something before you put it onto it to be seen, or you to present it unto the world. It's for the mind that guides you, like tells you, you need to go, you need to do this. If you want to pee, you need to go to the toilet and stuff. And that is what we are all about. Karibuni sana. And I did get to play you some amazing vibe. The first song was Jungle Fever by Amari. Was it Amari? Amari Tari. Let me just check her name, but she's just an amazing vibe. And she goes by the name Amara Tari, sorry. And that's Jungle Fever. And I was just comparing the song with the one of Josephine, because the second song that I did get to play was Josephine's Come Here by Josephine. And of course, here on the Blackout Fire Network, we love Josephine so much, because she's doing the most, of course. And you can check our music on YouTube if you just want to vibe along, with whatever she's doing. On check out what she's all about. And I was just comparing between Amari and Josephine, like whose sounds better. But to me, Josephine just remains on top. She just has amazing but of course, I'll be playing you most of our music, as well as you get to tell me, whom do you feel the vibes the most? Is it Amari or is it Josephine? For me, it's Josephine. So the winning team, come with me and let us be able to conclude this matter. We're gonna take a short musical break. Then when we come back, we're gonna be telling you what is happening, because a lot of issues are popping up. And of course, even during the night, the government gets to do some creepy stuff. And of course, we're gonna be checking on that, what is really happening. This is Halima by the one and only Paul Raj. We'll be right back.
Exclusive from ZambianTunes.com. I love you today, I love you tonight, I will sing a beautiful song just for you. I love you today, I love you tomorrow, I will sing a beautiful song just for you. Look at you, the way you smell at me, I love it too. I will love you on Monday, I will love you on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I will love you forever. I will love you, baby, till I die. Nakupenda sana, moyo wangu mama, I love you, darling, my darling. Kola tell mama, ati nikupenda. Darling, my daddy, kola tell sisi, ati nikupenda. I love you to the Halima, I love you to my lady. I was singing when you were so loud. Just for you, baby. I love you today. I love you tomorrow. I was singing when you were so loud. Just for you, Halima, my lady, my Zambian baby, my African baby. In a new corner, Kulite na wina, wamena ni Kambe kwanji ndiwe nibona Uroga ponde kwanji ndiwe nilaba My Zambian baby my decent baby my Soweto baby my Niger baby my African baby ndiwe nilaba my darling Gola tell mama ati nikukunda Halima, my daddy, call and tell your sissy, ati nikupenda. I love you today, Halima, I love you to my daddy. I was singing when you were so loud. Just for you, me, I love you today. I love you tomorrow. I was singing when you were so loud. Na usiku Halima mama nipaka imfa Halima mama mutima unasaka welo Kuandoyo mama kuandoyo papa kuandoyo sisi ati nikukona Halima mama maiteni mama ila nikukunda Halima, my darling, call and tell your mama ati nikukunda Halima, my daddy, call and tell your sissy ati nikukunda I love you today, Halima, I love you to my daddy I was singing when you were so loud Just for you, me, I love you today I love you tomorrow I was singing when you were so loud Just for you Flashdown Records Entertainment Production Another PST production Then to the door I live my day I live my day Call and tell your sissy Call and tell your sissy I love you today I love you tonight I was singing when you were so loud Just for you I love you tomorrow I was singing when you were so loud
Yes. And that was Halima by the one and only called Raj, all the way from Zambia. And I can admit that is one of my favorite songs, actually. I do love the vibe. I just love the whole music. And I just, love the way that, or rather something that really shocked me, that Zambians can speak Swahili. Before, as I said, I used to think that Swahili was only a language that was only known by Kenyans, Tanzanians, and some few people, from South Africa. But, speaking of Swahili, Museveni has gone ahead and said that Swahili should be, Swahili will unite Africans together. And I did mention this actually the other day. I don't know if you can all remember, but I did say if Swahili was made something like a national language actually in the African continent, it will unite Africans together. Be it you're in US, be it you're in New York, be it you're in Kenya, be it you're in Uganda, Ghana, Nigeria. Because we've seen even some other African countries who are interested in learning Swahili. And I don't believe this is so true. And Museveni has gone ahead and said, the Ugandan president, Yoweri Museveni, has called on Africans to speak Swahili to aid in unifying the continent. In a speech of African Integration Day, which marks the progress in bringing the continent together, the long serving Ugandan leader described Swahili as the neutral language to unite us together, and it is non-ethnic and belongs to nobody, which is so true. I did mention this actually the other day, and I did mention something saying, if Swahili was made something like if it was made like the African language, and us to get to know how we communicate this language, it will bring us together. It's like creating a culture, and this is one of the things that I was just talking about. And I'm just so grateful to I just want to congratulate Museveni for putting out this in front, and I just hope the other African continents will also take note of this, because as I keep on saying, we should create a culture that will unite us together and not to divide us. Because due to tribalism, we've seen that so many people hate each other because of tribalism, because of religion. But if we had something that should bring us together, no matter where we go, we don't have to, bring a translator for me to be able to understand your language, it will be better. It will be something something that will help actually our fellow brothers and sisters in Africa. Karibuni sana to the Pan African Bliss Show once again. My name is Joby, and this is the Black Hot Fire Radio, media for the 21st century. Interact with us on Facebook. Actually, on Facebook we are blocked. I forgot to say that on Facebook we are not allowed to stream there right now. So you can get hold of us on Twitter and on Instagram currently. That is at the Black Hot Fire Network, using the hashtag on Twitter Pan African Bliss with Joby, and hashtag Black Hot Fire Network, and also on Instagram at the Black Hot Fire Network. So I don't understand why actually Facebook pulled down our account, because I don't think we did reveal a content that was not needed. It's just the truth that we keep on revealing unto the people, and I think that is what they don't want to hear. Even some of our pages or some of our accounts also on YouTube have been blocked, but we do hope to be able to regain that in some few weeks to come. But as we get to talk about the matters that have been happening, I did mention something to do with South Africa. The South African president, the ex-president actually, that is South African ex-president leader, turns himself in prison term, that is Jacob Zuma. And actually, I didn't expect this. Just yesterday, we were talking that he did somehow bribe people to go and protest for him not to be arrested. And all of a sudden, within just some few hours, he just decides, I can't keep on doing this, or I don't want to keep on, or rather end up in chaos. And it's been reported that President Zuma has decided to comply with the incarceration order. But I'm just gonna play the video. I'm not gonna complicate myself with the words, and I'm just gonna be telling you what is really happening, and we'll get to understand what is the reason why did he decide to even turn himself to the police station, which is really amazing. I just hope that at the end of the day he's gonna agree to the mistakes that he did make. That was when he was the president of South Africa, and according to all the illegal matters or everything that he did get to do. So this is the video, and let's understand what really happened.
Wow, thank you for your time. How juicy.
Juicy.
The adverts. But let this end. Okay, there is the video.
Former South African President Jacob Zuma turned himself over to police early Thursday to begin serving a 15-month prison term. Just minutes before the midnight deadline for police to arrest him, Zuma left his home in a convoy of vehicles. He handed himself over to authorities to obey the country's highest court that he should serve a prison term for contempt.
He arrived just after 1 a.m. You will know that as a former president, he has a presidential protection unit. They brought him to us, but now we have to take over to ensure that he is incarcerated in a safe custody, and also we have to respond to his special needs if any have been identified.
Zuma's imprisonment comes after a week of rising tension over his sentence. During a press conference last Sunday, he demanded for justice and said his age and physical condition were not taken into consideration. Political tensions have risen in KwaZulu-Natal province as a result of Zuma conviction, sentence, and pending arrest.
Well, so that is what is going on, and it's really crazy. My question is, why is it that he has to be given special needs? Why can't he be treated like the rest of the prisoners? Despite his age, despite everything that him claiming that he needs special treatment, why would they be given that? I mean, you did a mistake, so you should serve, or get to be treated like the rest of the criminals the way you did. But that is what is really happening in South Africa. So we're gonna take a short musical break. Then when we come back, the topic of today actually concerns South Africa. We're gonna be telling you more about it, and I'll just be sharing some videos and get to make you understand what I'll be talking about. We're just gonna be seeing about the colonization, and of course get to understand also why still some communities in South Africa are being led by kings. Still, there are some communities in South Africa, like we did get to see in Eswatini, whereby there was this king who has been there for quite a longer time, and I do believe that people need a change. And of course, with the generation that we are in today, people need a change, and they demand a change also. For you marrying 16 wives or 20 wives, and those old people who are underage, which is not so right. So we're gonna be checking deeper into these matters, and we're gonna take a short musical break. Then when we come back, we're gonna be discussing more about what is really happening. This is Hustle by the one and only Kaka Kevo. Keep it the Black Out Fire Network. We're gonna be right back.
Just from nothing, tunapanda up to a high level. Tukiwa hard na kustrive, kama sasa napanda nafanya na saka passion kila mara. Kila kuforget this, tumetoka juu, tumechoka kugoja mabolo tupoke hizi madola. Juu tumesota na wera tubonda, lakini mola tulola kwa maisha bora. Kuna kutoka tora safi kila kona. Hustle, hustle, every day tupate hustle. Hustle, level up your pace. Hustle, kangu high life is face. Hustle, saka, mula. Hustle, every day tupate hustle. Hustle, level up your pace. Hustle, kangu high life is face. Hustle, saka, mula. Bado mina rap this low life. Nikisaka tu hizi mula. Nikiweka bila kutoa. Nikificha white na suri. Wasijue tu mina weka. One day tu mina ball. Keep dreams up so high. Keep on out in my mind. Saka, pesa, saka, mula, saka, money, saka, weather, saka, janta, saka, kazi, saka, mula, saka, mula. Hustle, every day people just hustle, level up your pace, hustle, can't move my life is this, hustle, saka, hustle, every day people just hustle. Walula music, I can. Nashika tu vile nishika ile design. Ile design. Najua unapenda ile design. Napenda nikushike ile design. Nashika tu vile nishika ile design. Ile design. Najua unapenda ile design. Napenda nikushike ile design. Niko kwa ATM nimekam ile design. Balulu mimi nafanya wana resign. Niko na warembo wa super wana deny na vile wanakanitamani ile design. Wameacha kutoroka kirezi wananifollow. One man amigo solo. Hata wawe fosa makubali hii yolo. Kachoro na pika bistu ile design. Acha koma na nyoro sani kiduto nuoro. Vile nina kamtua na shidota kudoro. Vile nina flow sidani kuna kasoro. Aiko na uwa kila bile ile design. Biyota ukenya na kanyanga. Itkahi zina madraga. Awareko wananisaka kasa kama vile pasi meisho zime wabamba. Shika tu vile mishika ile design. Ile design. najua unapenda ile design. Napenduka nikushike ile design, nashika tu vile mimi ushika ile design. Ile design, najua unapenda ile design. Napenduka nikushike ile design, mabit kakidunda mimi upenda hii design. Na vile ninaroga ina nice design. Tumkieko jina kwanza zangu ni surprise, kitu kali ni kali na kali kitu safi. Neka kapaka soka tonya karibaka, club nikiingia kile kaprezi kipaka. Na boga shake sua ngoso na kichaka. Hakuna vako hizi movie kasa haija. Ngoma no party design ya console. Niko rito design ya kanjo. Niko maji hadi na fanto. I'm a good boy kama fajo. Mimi shida lakini sinaja. Warembo tingisha lakini design. I'm a go kata wala ina sinai. Flow so sweet kaya hii design. Nashika tu vile mimi ushika ile design. Ile design, najua unapenda ile design. Napenduka nikushike ile design, nashika tu vile mimi ushika ile design. Ile design, najua unapenda ile design. Napenduka nikushike ile design. Omera chanuo kaseche, anda toka kwa ni mwanda keli. Kama umebeba na nite mtebi, after panike tani ido ni mwanda keli. Wata biota ukenya na kanyaga, nitka hizi na matanga. Hawa rembo wananisaka kasa kama vile basi imeisha sime wababa. Nashika tu vile mimi ushika ile design. Ile design, najua unapenda ile design. Napenduka nikushike ile design, nashika tu vile mimi ushika ile design. Ile design, najua unapenda ile design. Napenduka nikushike ile design, nashika tu vile mimi ushika ile design. Ile design, najua unapenda ile design. Napenduka nikushike ile design, nashika tu vile mimi ushika ile design. Ile design, najua unapenda ile design. Napenduka nikushike ile design.
Yes, and that was Ile Designer by the one and only Balulu, and also I did get to play you Hustle by the one and only Kaka Kevo. Keep it the Black Hot Fire Network. My name is Joby, and this is the Pan African Bliss Show. You're tuned in into the Black Hot Fire Radio Media for the 21st century. Interact with us on Twitter at the Black Hot Fire Network using the hashtag Pan African Bliss with Joby and hashtag Black Hot Fire Network. And you can also get hold of us, that is on our Instagram at the Black Hot Fire Network. And you can also call us in or tap us or SMS us at the +254 402 730. You can also download the app and get to enjoy these amazing vibes, because do remember, here we're all about vibrating positive vibes all the way to you. And earlier on I did mention the topic of today, and I do say, or rather I do keep on saying, or even we do keep on discussing here on the Black Hot Fire Radio, we the African, or rather the African continent, Africans do not understand their history. We don't know our history, and that is why we end up being wrong. That is why we end up being manipulated, not only mentally, economically, physically. We've been manipulated so bad, not only by the Europeans, even by our own leaders, because they're being controlled by these people, of which they don't even know about it. Or rather, they know about it and they ignore it, and we, the common Onanchi, are the ones who keep on suffering. So today we're going to be looking deeper into the South African history, and just to educate, or rather for us to get to learn more about, each and every continent's history, so that even if we are to accommodate South Africans in our country, or allow them to come into our country, we understand where they're coming from and what they went through. That is what we need to understand about each other. As much as we need to create a culture that will unite us, it's better if we understand what other countries also are going through, or what other countries have also gone through during the, the slavery time, even the colonial period. Even during all this time, we just need to know what is really happening, even with their own government. Not only just to be reading the news and to be seeing what is really popping, seeing that Zuma has been arrested and everything. No, we need to dig deeper than that. So we're going to be digging deeper into the South African history. And the first thing that I understand, the first modern of humans are believed to have inhabited South Africa more than 100 years ago. South Africa prehistory has been divided into two phases based on broad patterns of technology, namely the Stone Age and the Iron Age. I think it's something that we also did get to learn in social studies. So we did call it social study. It's just like learning history in high school. But we didn't even, the education, the system of education has not given us the full history of what really did get to happen. In the same way that we get to see right now, even in movies, the way things have been predicted right now. Only most of us just see them as movies, but we don't know that these are things that are coming to happen. Actually, we're so blinded that we don't see this is what that they're predicting to us. This is what is coming to happen, but we are, we just see them as entertainment and everything. So we're gonna be sharing a video. I'm just gonna be sharing a video today and just get to learn more about what South Africa is really all about. Because personally, I can't even say I know much about it. So it's best if we learn as the Black on Fire family together. And as I said, we need to keep on educating each other, not only as Museveni said. And Museveni, I'm just proud of Museveni because to me, I can see the awakening is coming to him as well. Because right now, as much as the other day, as much as he keep on, confusing his words at times, he's also getting to see what is really happening. The other day, he did mention of something to do with let me just remember, but he has mentioned today to do with the African continent, rather the Africans, are getting to learn about Swahili, which is gonna be like a culture and unite us together. No matter where we go, we'll have that one language, that is not ethnic, it does not belong to anyone, which is going to make us learn more about each other. Not only when you go to US or when you go to Ghana and when you go to Nigeria, you need to bring your translator or interpreter with you. No, we don't need any of that. So this is the video that I'll be sharing today, and I just hope you get to enjoy everything that will be taught today.
Afrikaner broederbond propaganda machinery. I've seen in some areas of the Facebook discourse where again the Afrikaner is beginning to propagate the lie that he was here before the African. And this is a lie that they keep saying, that when they came here in 1652, there were no black people in the southern tip of Africa. Now, the problem is that in South Africa, a lot of black people do not take history at school because they do not understand that history is life. They do not understand that if you do not understand your history, you can never know where you are going. If you do not understand when the Afrikaner got here, they will always say that you were never here. If you do not...
Good grammar and spelling are important. But if you want to write essays that inspire...
The YouTube adverts had just to do their thing, but let's keep on.
Understand the events that happened when the Afrikaner got here, you will always have them telling you that you didn't exist. However, the good thing about Afrikaners is they keep records. And the Navy has been keeping records for a very long time in the history of naval activity in the southern tip of Africa. And what they tell us in these naval records is that the Dutch did not get to South Africa in 1652. But the Dutch had been coming to South Africa since 1590. By the time we come from 1590 all the way to 1652, more than 2,000 ships had come all the way from the Netherlands and it stopped over at the southern tip of South Africa. And they had been able to reload and to, what do we call the word? They had been able to get provisions from the southern tip of South Africa so that they could proceed with their journey to India. They would have never made that journey to India without getting provisions at the southern tip of South Africa. But what they don't tell you is that these 2,000 ships that were coming since 1590 were getting their provisions. We call them in English victual. They were being victualed on their way to India by the Khoisan, the Xhosas, and the people that were living in the area at that time. There are books that have been written by the Dutch, the Germans, and many other people like the Portuguese that narrate what was happening since 1590, that the Dutch started stopping over, creating diplomatic relations with the Khoisan, getting interpreters, getting consultants, leaving their sheep, leaving their seeds, all right? they were actually leaving citrus seeds, wheat, and other crops that they were asking the Khoisan to grow for them. They even taught some Khoisan and some Xhosas the Dutch language, and they too were taught Xhosa and Khoisan because they had what we call diplomatic commercial relationships with the Khoisan since 1590. But that's not the interesting thing. The interesting thing is that even though they were already coming since 1590, they were not the first white men to come to Southern Africa. The first white men were the Portuguese. And the Portuguese got here in 1485. They got here in 1485 because in 1455, the Pope of the Roman Catholic Church, the Pope in the Vatican, gave a decree, or what is called a papal bull, in which he said that there will be what is called the doctrine of discovery. In the doctrine of discovery, he encouraged European nations, which had just gotten ships to be able to travel, which had just gotten compasses to be able to know how to circumnavigate. He asked them to go and discover new lands that were not European, that were not Christian, and to settle those lands. So from 1455, the Portuguese and the Spanish who were given this bull, it wasn't given to all Europeans. It was given to the Portuguese and to the Spanish to start coming down the African coast, stopping along the way on the African coast and looking for new lands in which they must settle. The agreement is that whichever of their two nations got to a nation first, they were supposed to lay down a white cross that was called a padra.
Yes, and just as we go on, we're getting to understand deeper and deeper, like how the whites have really fooled us, because you can see that they are saying that the whites claimed that they were here even before the Africans, which is so not true, which is not so true. But at the end of the day, I wanted to ask the question of the day: do you know your history? Because personally, as I get to learn about the South African history, here in Kenya, due to the system of education that we've been given, most of our histories have been hidden unto us, starting from the ancestors people, because we've been told that our ancestors were evil, our ancestors were witch, they were witch doctors, and they didn't wish well for us. They did get to perform some sacrifices and a lot of things, a lot of lies. But when you dig deeper right now with everything that is happening into the world, you get to see the truth and how these people have really played with our minds and made us not to be able to understand more about ourselves and not to know about our cultures and our history. So do you know your history? That is the question of the day as we get to continue with this video, because time is also not on our side. It's 30 minutes past 12, and we're gonna keep on playing this video as we get to learn more.
But this caused problem for some time. So eventually the Pope said, no, let's separate where the Portuguese can colonize and where the Spanish can colonize through the Tortediras line. So the Portuguese are the ones that came down the coast of Africa. And when they came down the coast of Africa, they got to Namibia. After getting to Namibia, they came all the way down to Southern Africa. And when they got to the southern tip of Southern Africa, they started to see men and women herding goats and cows, but in large amounts. So they named that place that they saw first, Dos Vampiros. In the olden day Portuguese language, it was a descriptor for the black people that were herding cattle on that beach. And remember, this is 1485. They then proceeded to land at a place that they named Sao Bravo. When they landed there, they wanted to get fresh water because they were also on their way to India. They were looking for the route to India. So they wanted to victual their ships or to look for provisions for their ship, including fresh water and whatever they could trade. And they decided to trade for the cows with the Khoisan that they met there. But the problem is when they got there, they started taking water without permission. And when the Khoisan came, So they knew this is their land. And according to their culture and tradition, no one was.
Okay, YouTube.
This is Sita.
YouTube just had to do their thing. They don't want us to enjoy the video, but nonetheless, we're gonna keep on continuing because we need
They
to
were supposed
learn.
to speak to them first. And when they saw people taking water, they were not happy. So they started throwing stones to warn them that, hey. And instead of the Portuguese who were going with a man called Bartolomeo Diaz, acknowledging that they were doing something wrong, they started shooting at the Khoisan. They shot with their crossbows, they killed one man. The Khoisan got mad. And immediately with that madness, they took spears, they took stones, they took their harpoons that they used to hunt for whales, and they started to fight Diaz. Diaz and his men retreated, got on their ships, and they went. But they had to make a U-turn. They couldn't go all the way to the Indian Ocean and find their way to India. They had to make a U-turn, go back to Europe. In the books of one of the men that was with Bartolomeo Diaz, he says that these men were hunters of sea whales, sea wolves. They grew cannabis. They had coins. And they seemed to be sophisticated people. They even had domesticated dogs. That is an account that is being given by a man who landed at Sabra, the southern part of South Africa, in 1485. We then had our man Vasco da Gama coming in the 1590s to complete the task that was started by Diaz, to discover South Africa. But they could no longer discover South Africa because they were very clear that there were people there and there were people who were resisting them. So when he came and decided to come with gifts. They got there again, they got out of their ships, and they took gifts to the Khoisan who came to meet them. When they took those gifts to the people, one of the Portuguese or a number of the Portuguese decided to put their white cross, this thing called the Padrão, to show that they had discovered this place. They then started negotiating, trading with the Khoisan. As they were doing this, a number of Khoisan came and took one of the men that came with Vasco da Gama. And they took him back to the water where one of their own was shot. And they started pointing to the water and asking, why did you take our water without permission and why did you shoot us? When Vasco da Gama realized this, he realized that this could be a problem. So immediately he called his men and they started retreating. As they were retreating, the Khoisan then took down the Padrão that had been put and they burnt it. Now, one thing you must remember about this doctrine of discovery by the Pope is that a European nation could not just get to a piece of land and say we discovered it. They had to first of all plant the Padrão. After planting the Padrão, they had to settle the land and they had to put up European or Eurocentric structures to prove that they had settled, discovered, and now the land belongs to them.
And that is what the Chinese are doing right now, because yesterday I was just discussing on how our leaders can come up together or work together and get to, make these European people, the Chinese, to get out of our continent as the African continent. This is what exactly you can see even way back when the Europeans did get to enter in South Africa. And the Portuguese were asked them, why did you take our stuff without our permission? Now they realize our problem could rise up. And this is the same thing that is really happening even today in all the African continents. The Chinese come here with the major thing, or rather the aim of in the name of we're making construction, the red construction and buildings and stuff. But at the end of the day, after they are done with their mission, they're going to turn it into a vacation. And the vacation is them to discover deeper, more about our continent, or rather our culture and our, what we have. They take after they have learned a lot. They start calling each other. They start calling their their sisters, their brothers, their siblings, and everyone. And at the end of the day, before you even discover it, lots of Chinese are filled up in Africa. They are occupying Africa slowly by slowly. But our government is so blind. It doesn't want to see this, not even our government. We the people, because we don't want to learn our history and get to understand why these people came into our continent, we're going to keep on suffering. But if we open our eyes and be able to be ready to learn and get to understand what these really people's intentions are, we're gonna be, we're gonna open our eyes, we're gonna be awakened. Because you can see this guy, or the reporter, I didn't get to get his name, is saying that the Europeans came with the gifts, and that is the same thing that is even happening right now. You communicate a little bit in the, a white person slides in your DM, just in a few hours or in a few days, he tells you that he wants to come and see you. He fools you with some stupid gifts or some stupid money in PayPal and some stuff. By the end of the day, when you don't discover if they're using you for their own advantage, even especially young girls. Young girls are blinded. And even there is something that was mentioned, I did mention it last week. Young girls are blinded by small gifts. Young girls are blinded by the soap operas. They see these soap operas, they see with Keeping Up with the Kardashians, they want to look like them. You want to live like people in the US. You want to measure your life to be the same as them. But at the end of the day, you're wasting yourself. You see them putting these silicone wigs and everything, Brazil, and I don't know, the whatever. You want to look like them. By the end of the day, when you don't realize it, you're being manipulated mentally. Why don't you just be you, live your own life, and do what really makes you happy, instead of putting yourself or giving yourself pressure because of what you're seeing on the television. But we're going to continue, because we also are coming to the end of the show also, as we enjoy
and at that point, once the land belongs to them, they got what we call preemption rights. The right for them to own the resources, even though the natives will be led to continue to control them. But once the natives want to sell any resources, any claims, they had to go through that nation or that European nation that is so-called discovered. Anyway, I think 15 years later, 1509, we then have ships that are coming, Portuguese again. They had now discovered India, and they were coming from India, this military armada. They stop over again at this place called Sao Paulo, or a place called Shirley Point. And when they got there, this military man, D. Almeida, gets down. And when he gets down, he's met by the Khoisan. They immediately start trying to trade with the Khoisan because they needed cows. As they're trading with the Khoisan, a fracas starts. And one of D. Almeida's men is stabbed by a knife. There are many stories as to why he got stabbed. Some say that he was trying to bribe, he was trying to steal cows. The deal that he was making was not a fair deal, and he got stabbed. And with that, Diameida's army started fighting, shooting at these Khoisan, shooting with their crossbows. The Khoisan retreated up the mountains. The Portuguese followed them up the mountains. Unfortunately for them, a trap had been laid for them there. They were then assaulted by spears, stones, harpoons, and came back running down the mountain. D. Almeida himself was killed, and 60 of his men. The ships eventually left with Portuguese fighters fighting into the water and dying in the water. They left, went to Portugal, never came back to try and colonize or discover South Africa, because they were resisted by the Khoisan and the Xhosa people that were in that area. It is important for you to tell your children this history, because it shows that the Khoisan people were an advanced people. They had coinage.
And he's mentioned something important. You find that most of our communities, even our own parents, personally, me growing up, I don't remember even my dad or my mom telling me something about, our history, how they used to live when they were young, how they used to do their cultural things, how they did used to, practice cooking food, or going to the farm and get to, plant these crops, because we did get to see that, due to the system of education, we've been manipulated mentally. We've been totally lied to, like, all our lives. Personally, I'm very honest with you people, the Black on Fire family. I'm very honest with you, family. Me growing up, I never knew that Jesus was a black person, rather, or he was white. We were taught that Jesus was white, and that was it. We were taught that Santa was real, and that was it. We were taught that, we were never taught about these African cultures. We were not taught that, how these people came into our continents, or rather what their intentions really were. We were never taught all of that. But you can see this person saying the truth. Our parents, or those who we have grown up with, the system of education has been lying to us all our lives. We've not been told our history, which is something that we really, really need to learn.
And it is assumed that that coinage is what then called other Europeans, because it was gold coinage that was coming from a place called Mutapa in Zimbabwe. It showed that they were trading in gold. There was trade taking place in Southern Africa. We had coins, we had gold, and the Khoisan were a civilized people that.
Wow, thank you for your time. How juicy.
Juicy.
YouTube just does its things, but we're gonna continue just in a few, just in a few we continue. But that is what is really going on. At the end of the day, we just need to educate each other about our culture and our history.
They knew that they must protect their land and their territory from occupation, and they were trading in gold with their neighbors in the north. This is what brought the Dutch down to Africa. They came looking for this place that had gold. They came looking for this place that was known as Ophir in white books. The King Solomon's mines, which was said to be in Zimbabwe in a place called Mutapa. That's what they came here looking for. And they came in the 1590s. And when they got here, they could see that they were dealing with people who knew their land. So they did not come to discover. They knew the history of the Portuguese that had been defeated. So they came in friendship. They came in trade. 1590s, they started trading with the Khoisan, leaving their seeds, leaving their goats, leaving their sheep, and asking the Khoisan who knew their land to start cultivating these crops and husbanding their animals, so that whenever their ships came, they would have stock to take with them to India, and then they would have stock on their way back to take to Europe. When the trust had been built from 1590 to 1652, there was trust between the Khoisan and the Dutch. There was trust between the Khoisan and the VOC, or what we call the East India Company. But being a company, the East Indian man, Bob and Rivik, had evil intentions. The intention to take over the land. The white man never wants to pay fees. That's why till today you see we have protests, we have strikes. It's because the white man in his greedy culture, greedy capitalism, primitive accumulation, never wants to pay fair value for value that he gets, because he wants to be rich alone and he wants to be rich quickly. So they were trading together for 62 years. But the VOC were planning against the Khoisan that we must take this land. We must take this land from these people. And so that's why eventually, after 62 years of trade, they decided to bring with them, or was it 62 years, 72 years of trade? They decided to bring ships as usual. And the ships would dock. After docking, they would leave. But this time, 3 ships, Dromedary leading, came, stopped. But they had some suspicious-looking men. And these suspicious-looking men had no intention of continuing their journey. They came armed to the teeth to a city that had already established itself, where there was trade taking place. Farms belonging to the Khoisan, as had happened when they were during Diomed's time, were prepared to trade. But instead, this time they were brutalized, because inside those ships were an army ready to kill the owners of the land and to take over their businesses that were trading with the Afrikaners. This is how the Afrikaner got to start coming to take land. They killed the Khoisan. They imprisoned the Khoisan. They took all the properties that were close to the docks, and they established the first wine farms. Claim Constantia. Some of these farms that we treat with such respect are the very first institutions of colonialism. Yet those viticultural farms were started by the Khoisan on behalf of those Dutch. The first sheep farms were started by the Khoisan. But now the European who was living in poverty, who had run away from poverty in Europe, came to take by force because of the abundance that he saw in Africa. So there is a lie when they say that there were no people in Southern Africa when they got here. They were trading before 1652. Who were they trading with? With the Khoisan, with the Xhosa. Not only were they trading, they were also going up the coast to where the Portuguese eventually settled in what is modern day Maputo. They were going up that coast. It was then called Delgoa Bay. And they were buying slaves from the Portuguese there. They even tried an expedition on their own. Okay? They tried an expedition on their own in 1710 when they went inland. I mean, in 1680, when they went inland, these Afrikaners, these Dutch, these Boers, trying to go and take slaves in KwaZulu-Natal, where they were attacking the clans, families that were in that area. It is because of those attacks that the Zulu nation was formed. And the Zulu nation was formed way after the Khoisan were already vanquishing and defeating the Portuguese. The reason why the Khoisan were finished was not because of the Zulus, as the lies of the Portuguese and of the Boers say. It was because of the Boers who had finished the Khoisan. They were hunting them like game because they knew that the Khoisan wanted their land back. They were hunting them like game because they knew that the Khoisan could fight back. They had the history of the Portuguese. Unfortunately, the Khoisan were vanquished because of trust. They trusted the white man. In the same way, our government trusts white farmers to teach us how to farm. Yet these white people have destroyed the land. They've destroyed the seeds of the nation, giving us genetically modified seeds so that we can be reliant on them. They've removed seeds from watermelons, from grapes, so that they can monopolize the right to grow those foods. We must get wiser, ladies and gentlemen.
You must get wiser, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to thank everyone who's been tuned in. And of course, as we wind up, because the video has come to an end, I mean, he has said everything. He has concluded everything. The white men have manipulated us mentally. And that just reminded me of, how when you come to Kenya, when you go to Mombasa, because we don't know our history. I do love how when you go to Mombasa at Fort Jesus, they get to explain it to you, like detail to detail, how Fort Jesus was built and what's really happened there. Because and I was just looking up into why it was called Fort Jesus, and it was like Vasco da Gama was the first European to reach India by sea via the Southern Cape of Africa after the Turkish raids of 1585 and 1588, that the Portuguese decided to build a fort at Mombasa Harbor. And that just, it's really impressive, because I do remember when I was in Mombasa some time back, when I went there, I just enjoyed how they did get to explain everything by detail. Because I remember when I was in school, the teachers were just yapping. You couldn't even conclude anything. By the time you're trying to understand anything, the exam is there. You're trying to answer the questions. You don't understand what you're answering because you don't know even the history. They're just passing like, just flipping pages and that is it. Just continue and we're done with this thing. You just know you're going to answer the questions because you're given the question there. So just know how you're going to deal with it. And unlike when you come to Nairobi, it's all about politics, how people who's killing who's rich. You don't get to get such history. No one is talking about the history of Kenya. No one is talking about what really did get to happen. So at the end of the day, let us get to learn about our history, because we've seen what really did what really did get to happen in South Africa. And I can see General Mosquito, you're saying about the Peverinia. Is it Peverinia? Peverinia. I don't know what but you're saying about the weave, the Peruvian weaves. I think that is what you're trying to say. And at some point, it's gonna reach a point. Actually, I'm just gonna lay my hair down, like just either become a bald-headed person or just remain with a short hair, because all these things, at the end of the day, they're being created by these people, and they're trying to play with our minds and make us feel like we're not good enough, and that is just so not right. And I can also say saying that I was not told any history in Africa, just silly villages stories about chiefs, and that is so true. Even me growing up, I didn't know about more chiefs. Actually, the chiefs were the one who have been praised actually in the early days. The chiefs had good or rather good CVs. Yes, let me just say good CVs. They had a very good CV, like when it came to the community and how they did get to solve issues, how they did care about the matters of people. They were somehow good, yes, but we weren't told about other people, about the African history. What did get to happen? How did they even become chiefs? Such kind of things. But at the end of the day, let us try and understand our history as Black people, so that we can be able to defeat these European people, the Chinese, and everyone who is trying to on our power, because we're giving them the power to do so. We're giving them the power to feel so. They're feeling superior because we're making them feel superior. And at the end of the day, let us just try to educate each other. But I just want to appreciate everyone who's been tuned in. Thank you, General Mosquito, for your sentiments. And I can see some other people are watching, and I wish I knew who are they. But Santeni Sana to everyone who's been tuned in onto the Pan-African Bliss Show. My name is Joby, and this has been an amazing topic. I do hope that you did get to learn something. I've worked with something positive at the end of the day. I didn't know much about South Africa, being honest. The Khoisan and the Bantu, because we've seen also in the map how he was describing how the Europeans did get to enter in South Africa, how they tampered with them, their livestock and everything. I have learned something positive at the end of the day, because do remember in the Pan-African Bliss Show, we discuss matters that are affecting us as Black people, and also get to see who are against us at the end of the day. Thank you so much to everyone who's been here, keeping the Black Fire Network, because we also have other amazing shows lined up for you. But for now, I want to end the show with an amazing music by Nipende by Kappa Dre. This is Nipende by Kappa Dre. But nonetheless, right now, I just want to say have a lovely afternoon.
This is Black Fire Radio.
Hey, if you fall in love like I do, usinipende mama. If you want designer, buy for you. Tunakupenda sana, kwetu ni getu, hakuna gado. All I can offer, baby, shake a love, yeah. Usinipende, usiniache niende, yeah. I say, play a guitar for you, sing a little song as we dance to the tune. Yeah, da-di-da-di-da for you, da-di-da-di-da for you. Oh baby, play a guitar for you, sing a little